So good afternoon. Welcome back to the session. So now I'm going to talk about on the quality of water and the treatment, wastewater treatment. So why water quality matters? First, we'll discuss the quality of water and then we'll discuss the what are the effects of
Madam,
the.
I requested for recording. Can you please allow to?
Yeah, okay. Sir.
Do you receive my request?
No, sir. I'm just recording this.
Okay. You can share that link later.
Okay, sir. So quality of water. So why water quality matters? Raw water quality. What treatment is required? Whether it meets health standards, infrastructure risk, that is corrosion, scaling, etc. So why water quality is important? And what are the impurities exist in the water, wastewater?
Chemicals which are dissolved in the water
Okay.
and unwanted minerals,
Hmm.
heavy metals,
Okay. Heavy metals. So physical, chemical impurities, biological. So can you list out some chemicals exist in the wastewater?
Lead,
Okay, lead,
nickel, arsenic, lead,
arsenic,
arsenic.
cadmium,
Okay. So various chemicals,
mercury,
mercury. Okay. So now impurities in the water. So physical impurities, chemical impurities, and then biological impurities. So physical impurities, that is turbidity, suspended silt, clay,
so-
organics,
soil particles,
soil particles, silt, clay, soil particles, and some organics. Okay, and some organics which are present in the water interferes with the disinfection. So turbidity is nothing but the muddy water. So it's a physical impurity and no sunlight penetration. So aquatic plants may die. No photosynthesis process takes place in the water body. And the next one, color. So mainly from dissolved organics. Okay, that is a human, it may be a human material or the industrial materials or algal source algae. So algae green color one, you already know the algae. So algae is a which contains a pigment colored substances. So color and a taste and odor. So taste and odor changes if the algae exist in the water body and if the decomposition process takes place in the water body. Decomposition means when the plants and animals die, their body is converted to the simpler substances. The complex materials are converted to the simpler substances, and dissolved oxygen content in the water decreases and it releases harmful gases into the atmosphere. And the decomposition process and algae and chlorine residues, industrial chemicals also uh, also change the taste and odor of the water body. So these are the examples for the physical impurities. I repeat, turbidity, color, taste, and odor. These are the main physical impurities exist in the water. And the chemical impurities. So chemical impurities, example, hardness. So hardness, that is if the water contains the calcium and the magnesium ions, carbonates, these are removed by boiling, and non-carbonates needs chemical softening. So calcium and the magnesium carbonates, temporary, so removal by the boiling, and
Some heavy
non-carbonates
metals,
are
madam,
the,
lead and arsenic, like
sir,
metals.
lead and arsenic, these are the chemicals.
Heavy metals. No?
Heavy metals. And this non-carbonates, so this needs the chemical softening. And pH, so pH is also important for drinking water. Range is 6.5 to 8.5. And extreme cause corrosion and reduce the disinfection efficiency. And the tedious, total dissolved solids and fluorides. And fluoride cause, actually fluoride is important. Can you tell me the importance of the fluoride? Why fluoride is important for us? Fluoride.
Fluoride in adequate levels is beneficial to the human body, whereas in excess it causes fluorosis.
Yes. So that is sufficient. That is 0.7 to 1 mg per liter. That is dental health. It is important for the dental and skeletal health also. But above 1.5 mg per liter, above 1.5 mg per liter, it causes dental and the skeletal fluorosis. Anything excess is poisonous. So fluoride is important for the teeth and bone health, and it prevents the cavities. See, we
Enam-
consume cavities, it prevents the cavities. So we consume varieties, carbohydrate, proteins, and the fats, and food
Like
remains in
teeth
our,
enamel also. No?
yeah, food remains in our mouth. The bacteria consumes the food remains in our mouth. It converts sugary substance to the acid. This acid erode our enamel. It leads to the holes, or it is nothing but the cavities. So this fluoride prevents the cavities, and in our toothpaste also fluoride exists. Now this fluoride prevents the cavities. It is important for the bone and the um, teeth health. But excess intake of the fluoride above 1.5 mg per liter, it leads to the dental fluorosis and the skeletal fluorosis, yellowing of teeth and mottling of teeth, hardening of bones and the stiff bones. And nitrate, next one impurity is the nitrate.
For plants
Nitrate or
also it is
the,
harmful, no?
yes?
Plants.
Yeah. So for plants and
Oh,
animals also, yellowing of teeth in cows, and if the fodder contains animals fodder, cow or the buffalo, if the fodder contains the excess fluoride, it leads to the fluorosis. It affects the bones and the teeth. It not only affects the human being, it also affects the other organisms, plants, and the animals. And nitrate or the nitrite from fertilizer, main source is the fertilizer, and sewage industries, these are the main sources of nitrate and the nitrite. NO2 minus nitrite, NO2 minus nitrite, NO3 minus nitrate. So these two are dangerous. Above 45 mg per liter risk, in mainly infants, that is blue baby syndrome. So we'll discuss all those effects of water pollution. We'll see some what are the different parameters it contains. And metals and organics, lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury, pesticides. So toxic even at low concentration. So turbidity, color, taste, odor, hardness, pH, TDS, fluoride, nitrate. And next one is what? biological impurity. So biological impurity is nothing but coliform bacteria. So coliform bacteria indicate our organism for fecal contamination, that is excrete material. So mainly the human excrete material contain a bacteria called E. coli bacteria, Escherichia coli bacteria. So that is which exist in human feces, easy to detect, and signals other pathogens also. So the main source is what? Fecal, that is feces, human feces. So indicator organism for the fecal contamination, that is mostly it is present in the sewage. And next, coliform, they perform the coliform test. Coliform test is nothing but whether a fecal contamination is there or not, they'll check. That is fecal contamination, I think human excrete material is there or not. They'll check sewage water. Sometimes the sewage mixed with the drinking pipeline. So before supplying the drinking water, they'll check the quality of the water. They perform various tests, and also they perform the coliform test also. Coliform test is nothing but the fecal contamination is there or not. They'll check. The coliform bacteria should be zero. The number should be zero. If the bacteria exist in that water, it leads to the diarrhea and the different problems, different diseases. And next, other biological impurities, virus and the protozoa. Virus cause the hepatitis, different types of the hepatitis, and different diseases, dysentery also, and algae. So algae releases toxins, neurotoxin and hepatotoxin. Previous class we discussed. So taste and odor issues, and next one, possible toxins. So these are the important impurities in the water. I repeat, physical impurities, chemical impurities, and biological impurities exist in the water. So physical impurities main turbidity, color, taste, and odor. Chemical impurities, hardness, calcium, magnesium, carbonates, non-carbonates, and pH, TDS is important, fluoride, nitrate, metals and organics. These are some chemical impurities. Different chemicals you can write under this. And biological impurities are nothing but the microorganisms, bacteria, protozoa, virus, algae. Change the taste and the odor, and the possible toxins. And we follow the water quality standards, that is WHO and BIS standards. WHO, World Health Organization, Bureau of Indian Standards, we follow guidelines. These are the guidelines or the advisory international standards. These are India's legally enforceable standards. So what is mean by desirable limit? Desirable limit and a maximum permissible limit. Or at least you tell me the permissible limit. What is mean by permissible limit?
The safety limit.
Yes, the safety limit. So, okay. Maximum level. So we follow the WHO and the BIS standards, and the parameters, whatever we discussed, that is pH, mainly pH, alkalinity, and hardness, carbonates and the bicarbonates, limits, TDS, and fluoride, nitrate, and various chemicals also. And for a coliform test, they perform MPN test, coliform test, or the MPN. MPN means most probable number test. So number should be zero. Estimates the fecal contamination density. It signals the cholera, typhoid, diarrhea diseases risk. If the microorganisms exist in the water, it leads to the different diseases like typhoid, cholera, and the diarrheal diseases. So that's why they perform coliform test also. And sampling and the analysis. Sampling, site selection, source point, treatment, and collection of the water, and preservation, lab analysis, and microbiological testing also they do. Collection. So in sterile containers, the correct rinsing and technique they follow, sufficient volume, 1 liter or 2 liters, and preservation And various chemical preservatives, they use nitric acid for metals and transport within holding time. Lab analysis for different parameters, different methods they follow. Nephlometer for turbidity, pH, or conductivity meter, pH for the pH meter. And spectrophotometry for fluoride, nitrate, and the various metals. And microbiological testing, um, they use different methods. And we'll see the effects. Okay, so we'll see first effects of water pollution. So later we'll discuss this topic. So health effects of the specific contaminants. So effects of water pollution, surface and the groundwater pollution. And you can see, look at the pictures. Effects of water pollution depends on the type of pollutants present in water. Pollutants bring about physical, chemical changes that make the water unfit for drinking and harmful to aquatic life. So just now we discussed the different impurities exist in the water. The main effects of the pollutants are, these are the main effects. Effects on aquatic ecosystem, biological magnification, eutrophication, waterborne diseases, hazards of groundwater pollution. So these are the effects. I repeat, effects on aquatic ecosystem, biological magnification, eutrophication, and waterborne diseases, hazards of groundwater pollution. So we'll discuss the first one is the effects of aquatic ecosystem. So presence of organic and inorganic waste in water decreases the dissolved oxygen. So dissolved oxygen which is in the dissolved form in water bodies, the dissolved value ranges 8 to 15 mg per liter. So if the water having DO content below 8, it is called contaminated water. If the water having DO level below 4, it is called highly polluted water. So DO level should be 8 to 15 mg per liter. Okay, so lower DO may be harmful to animals, especially in fish population. Now, there are two tests to check the quality of the water, BOD and the COD, biological oxygen demand and the chemical oxygen demand. Now, can you tell me the difference between the biological oxygen demand and the chemical oxygen demand?
Biological oxygen demand is used for organic matter, and chemical oxygen demand is used to measure the amount of chemicals consumed.
Yes. So, any other explanation? Anyone? See, this BOD and COD both measure water pollution, but differently. So BOD, biochemical or biological oxygen demand, oxygen used by bacteria to break down organic waste. Okay, simply oxygen used by the microorganism to break down the organic waste. So it only measures the biodegradable matter. So biodegradable matter means which can be easily degraded by the microorganism. So it is a measure of the amount of oxygen, dissolved oxygen required by the microorganism to degrade the organic matter in the water. So for the decomposition of waste in the water, the bacteria utilize the dissolved oxygen content in the water. So many aquatic organisms died due to lack of oxygen. Okay, so it only tells about the organic waste present in the water. This taste takes longer, closer to the that is real river pond conditions. Okay, it only tells about the decrease in the DO level because of the presence of biodegradable waste. This is BOD. And coming to the COD, chemical oxygen demand. Chemical oxygen demand, that is oxygen needed uh, to break down the organic and the inorganic matter exist in the water. That is, it is a measure of oxygen required for the oxidation of total organic matter present in the water bodies. So, biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste. Waste, that is water bodies contains both biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste. Non-biodegradable waste is cannot be easily degraded by the microorganism, plastic, aluminum, pesticides and fertilizer. Chemical pesticides and the chemical fertilizers, these are non-biodegradable only. So presence of some oxygen consuming chemicals also decreases the DO level in the water. And it's a faster test but doesn't tell what nature can actually break down. That is chemicals, many oxygen consuming chemicals also exist in the water, and it measures both biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste in the water, and it's a very fastest test, and it is measured in 2 to 3 hours. Okay, and we have the meters like BOD and the COD meters. Now, can you tell me which is the most efficient test, BOD or a COD?
COD.
COD. See, this BOD, what bacteria can eat, and slower and more realistic actually. And the COD, what chemicals can destroy, and faster. And this is faster. But the polluted water contains both biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste. These two decrease the DO level in the water, and many aquatic organisms die due to lack of oxygen. And these are the two tests to check the quality of the water. And coming to the bioindicators. So in previous class, we discussed this. Bioindicators can be a plant or a microorganism or some worms, which indicate the quality of the water, the presence of some organisms or absence of organisms detect the changes in the environment. Okay, so clear. Here you can see lichens. Lichens has the characteristics of both algal and fungi. And these lichens, here you can see the picture. Lichens are very sensitive to the SO2 gas. If suddenly this organism disappears, we can say easily that something is wrong and SO2 gas is there in that environment, because these lichens are very sensitive to the SO2 gas. So it is a indicator, air pollutant indicator. And water pollutant indicator, tubifex, highly. This organism exists only in the highly polluted water, that is mainly sewage water, tubifex. So presence of this organism in water, we can easily say that water is a polluted water. Sometimes sewage mix with the drinking water pipeline. If the drinking water pipeline contains this organism, so we can easily say that there is contamination. Okay, sewage and the drinking water contamination, because this organism only exists in the polluted water, mainly sewage. And next one, aquatic plant, Eichhornia or water hyacinth. Presence of this aquatic plant in the water indicates the polluted water. Okay, water hyacinth or Eichhornia. Presence of this plant, aquatic plant, we can easily say that water is a polluted water. It's an indicator. And some other examples, that is clean water or unpolluted water indicators. Some organisms like stonefly larvae. Stonefly larvae need high oxygen, so which exist only in the fresh water. And fish also. Fish. Uh, fish needs high dissolved oxygen. Okay, so there are some organisms which exist only in the fresh water, and some organism existing only in the polluted water. Bloodworms. So bloodworms survive in low oxygen, and leech also. Leech tolerate moderate to the high pollution. So like that, these are some example. And microorganisms, so presence of some microorganisms also indicate the quality of the water. These are called bioindicators. Some organisms are very sensitive to the pollution in their environment. If pollutants are present, the organism may change its behavior or it could even die. Okay, understood. This is bioindicator. And this is about the effects on aquatic ecosystem. If the polluted water released into the nearby water body, it causes water pollution, and BOD, COD levels changes, values become high, and the DO level decreases. And coming to the next one, biomagnification. Okay. So look at the picture. What is mean by biomagnification? Can anyone tell me what is mean by biomagnification?
Increase of pollutants from one trophic level to lower trophic level to higher trophic level. Increase in the concentration of the pollutants.
So why there is an increase in the concentration of the pollutant?
Due to transfer of nutrients from one level to means one organism consumes the other organism, so the from the food chains it will travel from lower trophic levels to higher trophic levels,
Yes.
and it accumulate in the high trophic levels.
Yes.
It's called biomagnification.
Yes. So there are different terms that is in food concentration. There are different terms: bioconcentration, bioaccumulation, and the biomagnification. So bioconcentration means absorption and accumulation of the toxic substance by an organism only from the water. Only from the water. If a person drinks any contaminated water, if the pollutant enters into the organism only from the water, it is called bioconcentration. Bioaccumulation means buildup, that is accumulation and absorption of the toxic substance by an organism from various sources: air, water, soil, food. It is called bioaccumulation. And coming to the biomagnification, when a chemical enters into the food chain. Okay, when a chemical enters into the food chain, it is called biomagnification. On entering, it increases the concentration. Here you can see phytoplankton, next fish, bird. So phytoplankton 5 ppm, fish 200 ppm, next 1600 ppm. So now here each fish consumes more affected phytoplankton, and each bird consumes 3 or 4 fish. Now 3 or 4 fish concentration enters into the one bird. Okay, so clear? So it is called biomagnification. So biomagnification means increase in the concentration of the toxic substance from one organism to the another organism, and always the higher level organisms. That is, we belong to the higher level, and this concentration more the higher level. And we'll see some case studies. Heavy metals, pesticides, DDT. So in Eastern North America, it was found during the 1960s. Suddenly some birds disappeared. Example, peregrine falcon.
Vultures.
Vultures, osprey, that is fish eating eagle, osprey. And next one, brown pelican. These are some birds suddenly disappeared during 1960s. So reason, DDT. Okay, so lake contaminated with the DDT. These chemicals firstly absorbed by the phytoplankton algae. Next, algae were eaten by the next level organism, zooplankton, small insects, worms present in the water. Next level, fish. Next, these birds ate fish. So eggs laid by these birds had the fragile shells. You can see here, fragile shells, and birds unable to brood their eggs without breaking them. Eggs got crushed when these birds sat over on the eggs. So instead of the calcium, DDT accumulated in the eggshell. So calcium which hardens the eggshell. So because of the presence of DDT in their body, so DDT prevents the body from absorbing the essential nutrient calcium. So DDT makes the bird shell thin. Later they banned the DDT, and because the population decreased and no young ones, so they banned this DDT. And a DDT actually they use mainly for to control mosquitoes pest. Coming to the next one, mercury minamata disease. Can you tell me about this disease? Anyone?
Mercury present in the oceans is consumed by the fishes, and the fishes which are consumed by the people got this minimata disease due to mercury poisoning in Japan.
Yes. So here you can see the industry, fertilizer industry, discharge directly wastewater into nearby sea, Yatsushiro Sea in Japan, without treatment, untreated water. Okay, so location Minamata Bay in Japan. Minamata is a bay city in Japan that is during 1950s to 60s. And Kiso Corporation, a chemical factory, discharged wastewater containing the methyl mercury, very dangerous substance. So into the bay for decades, almost for decades, they discharged this water into nearby sea, Yatsushiro Sea in Japan. And the mercury absorbed by the phytoplankton first level organism. Next, bioaccumulated in the fish and shellfish and other aquatic organisms, and then these were eaten by the local people, local fishing communities. The local people, they consume this, or all the aquatic organisms, and affected different organisms and effects on human beings. Methyl mercury mainly attacks the nervous system. Okay, our nervous system consists of two: central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
You are audible.
Central nervous system. So central nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system includes the nerves arising from the brain and nerves arising from the spinal cord, that is cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. And these are connected to the different organs in our body. And upon entering this methyl mercury cause different diseases, that is numbness in hands or feet, and loss of muscle control, tremors, fits, and a speech problem, hearing problem, vision problem, and paralysis, last stage paralysis, coma, and the death. Okay, and also babies born with severe neurological diseases, neurological disorders from mothers who ate contaminated fish. It's a very dangerous mercury, and fish is a dangerous food. We should not eat the contaminated fish. We must ask the vendors. And officially over 2000 victims were recognized, totally affected. 2000 victims. So firstly, this disease was observed in the Minamata area, that is in Japan. That's why it is named as a Minamata disease. Okay, so and main chemical is mercury. And coming to the next case study, Eia disease. You can see the picture, Minamata disease patients. And coming to the Eia, Japan, same in Japan only, that is early 1900s to 1960s. So same in the Japan. Mining activity, smelting. Smelting means a process of heating. It releases harmful gases into the atmosphere, and also it discharges cadmium contaminated wastewater into nearby water body, that is freshwater body. So freshwater body, that is a river. So water, they use water for the different purposes, that is irrigation purpose and drinking purpose, different purposes they use. And irrigation purpose, the rice accumulated with the high levels of the cadmium, because they use that water for the agriculture. And agriculture, the main crop is rice, and rice accumulated with high levels of the cadmium. Local people consume this rice, especially at risk of disease called the Eia disease, that is calcium loss, ouch, ouch, Japanese term, bone pain. Okay, so now this is about the third case study. And biomagnification is very dangerous. Whenever you go to the market, you must ask the vendor where these vegetables and fruits were grown. If they were grown in the polluted areas or the industrial areas, cause different problems. Clear? And this Eia disease, it mainly affects the bones and the kidneys. So cadmium interferes with the calcium metabolism, and this chemical, cadmium chemical, prevents the body from absorbing the essential nutrient calcium and other nutrients. So instead of excretion of the waste material, kidneys excrete the essential nutrients and the sugars, and kidney damage and the kidney failure because of the presence of cadmium. Okay, this is about the cadmium Etai case study and two effects. And coming to the eutrophication, we already discussed this eutrophication. So look at this picture, normal lake and the polluted lake. So any lake first start as a oligotrophic lake due to the various activities of the human being. A freshwater lake get converted to the polluted lake, that is dumping of the waste, Ganesh immersion, and really factory water and sewage, etc. So these are the various sources of water pollution, and it leads to the different diseases and also affects the aquatic organism. So the process of enrichment of water, which often leads to the elimination of the species diversity. So organisms undergo decomposition process. Absence of oxygen releases false smell, releases CO2 and methane, H2S, etc. So Hussein Sagar, Tangband is a best example, good example for the eutrophic lake. So freshwater lake is called the oligotrophic lake or the normal lake. Polluted lake is called eutrophic lake. So good example, Hussein Sagar Lake, that is Tangband, because earlier twin cities, Hyderabad and Secunderabad, you artificial lake. It's an artificial lake. They use this lake for different purposes, drinking purpose and domestic purpose. So because of the activities of the human being, lake is converted to the eutrophic lake. Eutrophication. If the water contains the high levels of the nitrogen and the phosphorus, it promotes the growth of the algae. Thick growth of the algae is called the algal bloom. This algal bloom releases neurotoxins and the hepatotoxins. So this is about the eutrophication topic and the waterborne diseases. See, waterborne diseases are caused by the pathogens, that is disease causing microorganism, and most commonly these are transmitted in the contaminated fresh water. Drinking contaminated water can lead to the waterborne diseases. Okay. So the water polluted with sewage. Sewage is nothing but the drainage. Usually contains the pathogens like virus, bacteria, and the worms. And there are different types of diseases. You already know the bacterial, viral, and the protozoal diseases. You can see the list here: name of disease and organism responsible. So typhoid, paratyphoid, cholera, bacillary dysentery, hepatitis, jaundice, poliomyelitis, and amoebic dysentery. So these are the examples for the bacterial diseases. Typhoid, Salmonella typhi microorganism cause typhoid. Salmonella paratyphi microorganism cause paratyphoid. Vibrio cholera cause Vibrio cholera bacteria cause cholera disease. And so these are different diseases. Like for example, hepatitis, viral disease, poliomyelitis, poliomyelitis disease. It is caused by the poliovirus. Protozoal disease, amoebic dysentery. Bacillary dysentery is there, amoebic dysentery. That is protozoal disease and bacterial dysentery. So dysentery is nothing but the blood motions. Okay, you can see the typhoid in severe cases. We can see the red spots, backside, and cholera and jaundice. These are waterborne diseases examples. And the next one, hazards of groundwater pollution. So groundwater get contaminated due to the seepage of the water from industrial effluents and agriculture. Previous session we discussed agriculture and next underground rocks, etc. So nitrate, presence of excess nitrate in drinking water cause blue baby syndrome.
Syndrome.
Okay.
Methemoglobinemia.
Yes, correct. So blue baby syndrome, and it impairs oxygen transport. No oxygen transport around the body, the baby becomes bluish in color. And it also affects the adults. And what is the main source? Main source is what? Agriculture is the main source. And next one is air also, atmosphere also. Atmosphere also, that is nitrogen. And during rainy season, nitrogen get converted to the nitrate and it enters into the surface water also. When any person drinks contaminated water, if the water contains the nitrate, causes disease. So other potential symptoms of blue baby syndrome: difficulty in breathing, vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy, increased salivation, loss of consciousness, seizures. In severe cases, blue baby syndrome can even cause death. So these are main sources. You can observe this picture. So BIS limit of this nitrate is 45 mg per liter. Bureau of Indian Standard limit is only 45 mg per liter.
హలో సాయి జీవన రండి
Please mute your microphone.
అదేం ఈరోజు స్టార్ట్ చేస్తామన్నారు కదా అంతే గుర్తు.
So that is excess nitrate. If any person takes above 45 mg per liter, it leads to various problems. So first is the agriculture source, and the next one atmospheric, and the next animal manure. Animals excrete material. So different organism excrete the different forms of the nitrogen. And next one, fluorosis. So fluorosis, excess fluoride in drinking water cause teeth deformity, hardening of bones, and the stiff bones, skeletal fluorosis. So it affects that is teeth, and also affects the bones. So dental fluorosis, yellowing of teeth and mottling of teeth. Okay. Dental fluorosis. Skeletal fluorosis, hardening of bones, stiff bones because of the underground rocks. Presence of the underground rocks. If the rocks are reaching the fluoride, if any person drinks that water. So Nalgonda region is a good example for the fluorosis disease. So we already discussed the importance of the fluoride and also the
Ma'am, 1.5
negative
mg.
effects.
How much is the concentration, ma'am? Above 1.5 mg of fluoride, ma'am.
One, ma'am. One.
Above 1?
No, one only.
Okay.
0.7, approximately 0.7 to 1 mg per liter only.
Permissible limit.
Yes, ma'am. Harmful above 1.5 mg per liter. Harmful.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Harmful. Actually, permissible limit is only 1.
Okay, ma'am.
Coming to the arsenic. So arsenic blackfoot disease, over exploitation of the groundwater, it leads to the leaching of the arsenic from soil and rock sources. So contaminates the groundwater. So it causes diarrhea, lung and the skin cancer, blackfoot disease. So you can see here mining people mostly affects, and also the over exploitation of the groundwater. So mostly it disturbs the underground rocks. So rocks contains various minerals get mixed with the groundwater. If any person drinks that contaminated water, it leads to the different diseases. If that contains arsenic, it causes a black food disease. If go on, they daily if they drink same water, so it leads to the diarrhea, lung and the skin cancer and the black foot disease. So arsenic cause black foot disease. So there are different diseases related to the water. I'll tell you these are some diseases just for information. So we already know about the waterborne diseases, cholera, typhoid, and amoebic. Just now we discussed, and water wash diseases, water based diseases, water related insect vector diseases. These are some diseases related to the water. See, waterborne diseases you already know, diseases caused by the microorganisms, and water based diseases mean these diseases are caused due to contact with the dirty water. Okay, due to contact with the dirty water transmitted through aquatic animals, that is fish, and caused by aquatic organism that spend a part of their life cycle in water. Okay, transmitted through the aquatic animals. It may be a snail or a worm or it may be anything. So that is the human excrete material. Uh, it enters into the other aquatic organism or a snail or other organism. Here you can see, and next it penetrates into the human being's skin. Okay, so this disease is called water-based disease, and you can see this picture is clear. These are some organisms which transmit disease. Human excrete material, and then it affects the organism and penetrates the skin. So water vector diseases transmitted through the biting of mosquitoes. See, waterborne diseases are different. Waterborne diseases means if any person drink the contaminated water, if that water contains the microorganism, cause waterborne disease. Water vector diseases are different. These diseases are transmitted through the biting of the mosquitoes. See, dams or the breeding area, dams, all some big dams. These are the areas for the breeding of the mosquitoes, and even the dump yards and open dumps. These are the areas for the breeding of the mosquitoes. So mosquitoes population increases. Stagnant water also increases the mosquitoes population. So water vector diseases, vector like mosquitoes transfer parasite. Not all the mosquitoes cause the malaria, dengue, and yellow fever, etc., and chikungunya. Only the affected mosquitoes. So if the mosquito stomach contains a virus, bacteria, protozoa, worms, etc., and when it bite the human being, cause malaria, yellow fever, and the dengue, chikungunya. This disease is called water vector diseases. And next one, water washed diseases. This diseases is caused due to a lack of high personal hygiene. So infection is transmitted when fresh and good water is scarce for washing hands or the body. So it leads to the infection, uh, rashes, scabies, leprosy, fungal infection, itching, etc. Okay, so this is about the effects of the water pollution. So be the solution to run off the pollution. So we discuss the important parameters. What are the important parameters to be considered? And if these if these impurities are above permissible limits, so it leads to the various problems. So just now we discussed all those effects, and the sampling and analysis also we discussed the site selection, collection, and the preservation, and what are the parameters they consider, and that's it. Health effects also we discussed. And A conventional plan follows a fixed sequence, that is, treatment of water is important. Now, anyone tell me what are the various objectives of the treatment? You can also post in chat box.
To remove the impurities present in the water, purify the water, increase the minerals in the water,
Okay, I request everyone to participate in the class. Okay, so protect public health, enable safe discharge. Okay. Next. See, total hardness permissible limit is 600 mg per liter. Okay, and you have to remember the permissible limits of the parameters like calcium, magnesium, chloride, sulfate, and nitrate, fluoride, iron, and arsenic. So mostly iron, arsenic, and lead, that is 0.01 mg per liter. 0.01 mg per liter. Other pollutants also. If above 0.01 mg per liter, it leads to the various problems, cause different diseases. So we follow the Bureau of Indian standards and the WHO standards. Okay. So I'll share you one video. You just watch that video. Okay, is my screen visible? Video? Are you watching video?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Textile industry.
বাংলাদেশের দ্রুত বিকাশমান পোশাক শিল্প দেশের মূল অর্থনীতিতে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ভূমিকা রেখে চলছে। সেই সাথে দেশের অভ্যন্তরীণ বেকার সমস্যা দূর করতে পালন করছে অগ্রণী ভূমিকা। বিশ্বের বহু বড় বড় ক্রেতা প্রতিষ্ঠান বাংলাদেশের তৈরি পোশাকের প্রতি আগ্রহী হয়ে উঠছে। এতে যেমন এই শিল্পের সম্প্রসারিত হওয়ার সমূহ সম্ভাবনা তৈরি হচ্ছে, তেমনি শক্তিশালী হচ্ছে দেশের অর্থনৈতিক প্রবৃদ্ধি। কিন্তু পোশাক শিল্প কারখানার অপরিশোধিত বর্জ্য পানি নিঃসরণের ফলে আমাদের পরিবেশের উপর পড়ছে মারাত্মক ক্ষতিকর প্রভাব। দূষিত হচ্ছে নদী, নালা, খাল, বিল। বিলুপ্ত হচ্ছে জীববৈচিত্র্য। ব্যাহত হচ্ছে কৃষি উৎপাদন। হুমকির মুখে পড়ছে মানুষের জীবন জীবিকা। তাই পোশাক শিল্পের এই অগ্রযাত্রাকে অব্যাহত রাখতে কারখানার বর্জ্য পানি পরিশোধনের কোনো বিকল্প নেই।
আমাদের এখানে প্রায় ৭,০০০ শিল্প ও কলকারখানা প্রতিদিন ১৩
বাংলাদেশে
মূল ফ্যাক্টরি থেকে পানিটা প্রথমে এইটিপি প্লান্টের মধ্যে আসছে, এই রাস্তা দিয়ে আসছে। এই পানিটা আস্তে আস্তে চলে যাচ্ছে ইকুয়ালাইজেশন ট্যাঙ্কের মধ্যে। এটা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন, এটা হচ্ছে ইকুয়ালাইজেশন ট্যাঙ্ক। এটা প্রথম স্টেপ যে কোনো ইটিপি প্লান্টের। এখানে যেটা মূলত হচ্ছে বিভিন্ন সময় বিভিন্ন ধরনের কনসেন্ট্রেশনে আপনার বর্জ্য পানি বেরোচ্ছে। সুতরাং এই ইটিপি প্লান্টের পরবর্তী স্টেপগুলোতে এখানে ইকুয়াল কনসেন্ট্রেশনটা যে আমরা যদি সেই পানি যদি হাই থাকে, সেখানে যদি বায়োলজিক্যাল অক্সিজেন ডিমান্ড হাই থাকে, তাহলে সেটা যদি বাইরে ফেলে দিই, সেটা মাছ এবং অন্যান্য অ্যাকোয়াটিক লাইফের ক্ষতি করতে পারে। সেই জন্য ট্রিটমেন্ট প্লান্টের একটা মূল উদ্দেশ্য হচ্ছে বায়োলজিক্যাল অক্সিজেন ডিমান্ড কমানো। এবং বাংলাদেশ গভর্নমেন্টের রেগুলেশনস আছে কতখানি আমরা ছাড়তে পারবো। এবং লাইম ব্যবহার হয়, তবে অনেকে অ্যালুমিনিয়াম সালফেটও ব্যবহার একটু বড় হওয়াতে সেগুলো এই পরিষ্কার পানিটা এটা মিলে কেমিক্যাল ট্রিটমেন্ট করা হলো, যেখানে যে টিউব সেটলার
সিলেকশন করবে কি বেসিসে সিলেক্ট?
Okay, so the treatment. So objectives of the treatment plant is what to remove the chemicals, pollutants, organics present in the water and to kill the microorganisms. So a conventional plant follows a fixed sequence: screening, grit removal, coagulation, flocculation, etc. So because the different industries use different raw material and the discharge of wastewater, that is characteristics of wastewater is different for different industries. They follow different steps. The actually for the treatment of the water, there is some sequence, that is screening, grit removal, coagulation, flocculation, sedimentation, filtration, disinfection, sludge handling. So each stage targets specific contaminants. Okay, each stage targets the specific contaminants and cleaner water. Okay, that is cleaner water. There is that is they should release into the environment. All industries must install the wastewater treatment plant before discharge into the nearby water body. So first they remove the floating objects present in the water. So we are left with only the 10 minutes. I'll tell you what are the various steps involved in the treatment process. Okay, and then I'll show you some two or
Madam, I have one question in connection to this wastewater releasing by the industries before releasing into the rivers or good water.
Okay.
So you are saying they can install that equipment process to remove all chemicals from the wastewater before it go into the rivers, right?
Yes.
But does the government is seriously asking or approving that you install, then only we can approve? Are they taking any serious actions?
No.
If
there
if
is
they won't
one.
take they won't install it at all.
Yes.
This is only for the purpose of reading, but the actual implementation doesn't
But-
happen. It doesn't fulfill the wastewater.
Yes, because the population is more and the development is still going on. And in our country, corruption is the main problem. So you have the EIA subject, right? I think you know
No,
about
population, we cannot say population is increasing because of that we can pollute the water. That is not the
No,
right.
population is increasing, development lifestyle is changing, and
Yeah,
also corruption
accordingly the development is increase. See, accordingly the pollution also taken care, right? They have to, in proportionate to the development to population, they have to implement the all these things which you are talking about to remove the chemicals from the wastewater.
Yes.
So they have to do in the same proportionate. Otherwise, over a period, it is very difficult to manage. If now they are not possible to manage, in future, maybe after 5 years, it is impossible to manage the things. Now in the beginning stage, at least they can able to cure these kind of things, to some extent they can reduce the pollution in the water, right?
Yes. So main problem is the corruption is the main problem, and next one it should be starts at the individual level, and also the municipal dumping of the municipal solid waste. So we have to separate the waste into biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste. We should not dump the waste directly.
So, but to see that important point you mentioned, but for the implementation perspective, whose role is required? How many people are need to involve in this waste dumping into the water?
Waste dumping, na?
Yeah, in the actual implementation is the very important, right? We are
Yes.
talking about theory, but practically it is not going to happen. Then the pollution will always happens, and
Yes.
diseases.
Okay. So once you visit the Jawaharnagar dump yard, sir, in just 1 kilometer, we see the water color, yellowish color. If you want to show,
I
I'll
saw
show you
many
the
places,
picture also.
madam.
Yes.
But where is the problem? Who is the culprit, and how many systems
Yes.
need to involve?
Oh,
I don't know. Not one person can do this
yes. Yes, sir.
rectification.
You are right. That's
But
why the subject is very important. Environmental science subject is very important. We have to think about our
I am
environment.
totally different technology. I am from IT guy, software guy, who you can rarely see who joined in the environmental science class. But I am
Okay.
really worried about this environment pollution. That's why I joined in this class.
Okay.
See what from my part I can do. Not going to change
Okay.
anything,
Very
but
nice.
let
Okay.
me try my side what better we can do. If everyone can do to some extent, it will be a big plus to the environment.
Yes.
Everyone should think in the same line, right?
Yes.
So that is the problem.
Okay.
Anyway, you continue this session.
Yeah, okay. So let me share some videos to you. So
Are you taking this attendance, madam, for these people who joined the class and giving any update to the?
it's a recording session, sir. Coordinator will take care of it. If you,
You can also
okay,
inform them.
I'll take the
Because
screenshot.
people will lose interest joining the classes in the morning 15 plus. Now it is not even 10 people.
Okay.
Offline classes I used to take, but online classes I thought someone is already recording. That's why they can do.
So you don't worry about your attendance. Your coordinator will take care of it. And also I'll share the screenshot to your coordinators. So here you can see the various steps involved in the treatment process in the sewage and industrial wastewater treatment process. It involves various steps. The first one is the primary treatment, secondary treatment, and the tertiary treatment. So in the primary treatment, they remove the floating objects present in the water and the grit, soil particles, and eggshells can be removed. It depends on the type of industry. And the next second stage is the bioreactor, that is secondary treatment. So primary, secondary, and tertiary treatment. Preliminary treatment also there. Preliminary treatment, preliminary treatment includes the screening and the grit removal. In some In some studies, only three, they mention only three. And in some studies, they mention preliminary treatment, primary treatment, secondary, and the tertiary treatment. So preliminary treatment is nothing but it includes the screening and grit removal. Screening removes the floating debris, that is sticks, leaves, plastic, bath screens with 20 to 50 openings. So and next one, grit removal. Grit removal separates the heavy inorganic solids, sand, silt in grit chambers with 15 to 60-second detention. The flow rate is reduced 15 to 60 detention so that particles settle at the bottom of the tank. And primary treatment includes the coagulation and the flocculation. Secondary treatment, it includes the microorganism. With the use of the microorganism, they treat the wastewater and also the sand filtration. So sand filtration most common in the municipal plants, and rapid sand filtration most common in the municipal plants, and slow sand filtration used for small or rural supplies. Membrane filtration. So membrane filtration, micro, ultra, or nano filtration membranes remove particles, bacteria, and even viruses above 99. That is above 99% removal, not the 100%. 99.9% removes, and operating cost high, and they are prone to the means these they use expensive methods, UV light, and the ozone treatment methods. And tertiary treatment. Tertiary treatment, it includes the various chemicals exist in the water. They follow the different methods to remove the various chemicals. And for disinfection process, chlorination method most widely used, hypochlorous acid, and distribution point, and pH should be neutral, and ozonation and the UV disinfection they follow. See, ozonation, no taste, odor issues, and UV disinfection, so it damages the microorganisms' DNA.
Madam, it is not showing video. It is only one screen is there.
Yeah, I'm just telling you the introduction part of this topic because we are left with only the 2 minutes, sir. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Are you able to see the screen? Only one slide you are seeing, now?
Yeah, that
I'm just
only.
telling you the just introduction part of this topic, sir.
Okay.
We are left with only 2 minutes. So next session, ma'am will explain all the steps involved in the treatment process and also the distribution of the water pipelines. She'll explain. So these are some pictures. Flocculation and the coagulants. They use different methods. And the settled solids, if they remove the, I'm just telling you the brief that is important points. Whatever the solids settle at the bottom of the tank, these solids are called the sludge. The sludge are sent to the anaerobic digester where anaerobic digestion process takes place. The plant is left unused for few months so that sufficient amount of gas accumulates. The waste is converted to the methane, that is biogas. Biogas is a mixture of different gases. You can see the anaerobic digester. And biogas is used as a fuel for the generation of the electricity and to operate the same treatment plant. Sludge. So sludge, the settled solids are called the sludge. It is converted to the biogas, and the sludge can be dried. If it is rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, it can be used as a manure to fertilize the plants. So actually this treatment process involves all these steps. Ma'am will explain all these steps and also the distribution of the water pipeline and etc. Conveyance and etc. Okay. So we discussed the sources of water and impurities in the water we discussed. And next sample collection and what are the various methods we use. So we discussed, and the introduction part of the treatment we discussed. Okay. So thank you everyone. Now I'm going to end this session.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Thank
Will
you,
you
ma'am.
be taking next week classes, madam, or tomorrow?
No, sir. Other ma'am will come and your coordinator will inform you.
No, today only last class of yours, or do you take any other classes?
If they will give, I'll take. If possible, I'll take, sir. Your coordinator will inform you.
Ashok sir will inform. No.
Yeah, Ashok will inform you.
But definitely tomorrow we have madam, right? Classes.
Yeah, yes, sir. Tomorrow, ma'am will take the class. Thank you.
Basanti madam, or who will do?
I don't know, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.